to Nerdy For, the podcast where I ask interesting people what they're nerdy for. And I have a very interesting person sitting next to me right now. My friend Andy Gunnin is here. We met doing stand-up comedy. We just did the World Series of Comedy together. He's been traveling all over the country doing comedy. And he just told me he's been in like 30 TV shows or movies. Mm-hmm. And... Yep. I had no idea you have a secret life. I guess you can't walk into a room and be like, "Hi, I have 30 movies and TV shows. My name's Andy. What's yours?" But that's can you please say hi and then talk about this? I'm floored. I am floored.
Yeah, that came about and during COVID, basically. Comedy, as we know, went away. My buddy who was working in movies, predominantly in Marvel, he's actually Ant-Man's stand-in, did a bunch of stuff. And one of the producers he got to become a friend with, as we know, Hollywood moved to Atlanta during 2020, and now everything is primarily filmed here. And so at that time when they moved here, they didn't have a lot of background and feature people to like fill the spots of the people they left behind in California. So he's like, "Hey, you want to work?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm bored sitting at home." He's like, "If you're willing to take a COVID test, we can put you on set in 48 hours. I'm like, "What?"
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were like, we're filming a movie. You have the perfect look. And I'd grown my hair out. I had a mullet, like a beard, just biker beard. And he goes, "No, we need you. We need you for an 80s look." So I was like, all right, called the guy. Took a test. 48 hours later, I was working on set. And I was there for 5 days. And then I went from that movie to another, to Ozark. And it just kept going. So for from 2020 to 2021, 2022, I was working as basically a stand-in or a background or an actor. I've done a movie with Kelsey Grammer, High Expectations. That's out now. Lifetime movie thing that just came out. We filmed 3 years ago.
Oh my God.
Just came out.
That's wild.
So now, that's what kept me going until comedy came back.
Do you have any lines in any of this? Or are you more like...
I did, but they keep cutting them.
Okay.
The last one I did, the headline was Kevin Hart's Die Harder that just came out. I played a prison guard, and it was me and him in a room at the end of the day doing a close-up scene. All you see is my shoulder and side walk past him at the end of the last episode. And I had a line, but we were running so long, they're like, "We're cutting your line." So I was like, "God dang it."
Was it a good line, too?
It was a good line. It was a good line. It would have been union pay and everything, but I was like, "Dadgummit."
Are you...
But I was a feature. But I did get a dressing room, so that was nice.
I got a dressing room
that day.
Moving on up.
With the AC and all that. So
that's really exciting.
I felt special.
Is Kevin Hart your new best friend? And does he take you on the road to have you open for him?
No. We didn't even talk.
Oh.
We didn't even talk. He just came and he was like, "Hey." And I was like, "Hey." And that was
this is what, they wanted a Southern, because you have a great Southern accent.
Thank you.
Right. I think it would add to any production that's trying to be authentic and have a guy with a mullet with an accent.
Well, at that time, I didn't have the mullet. I was a police officer. That's what I'm typecast now. It was funny because I've worked my way in, as I went along and doing all these TV shows and movies and stuff. They were like, "Hey," I kept getting caught. They kept calling me back for like detective or play a cop or all that. I'm like, and finally I was on set working on the Lifetime movie that just came out. That I said, "I'm really getting kind of tired of doing this detective and cop all the time. Can I do other stuff?" They're like, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Well, I want to play a different part or try."
How about a bleeding heart liberal from New York City?
Can I do something? They're like, "Do you not understand?" And the producer pulled me aside. He goes, "Look," he said, "here's the thing. What's the most top-rated, longest-going TV shows out there?" I go, "I don't know." He goes, "It's cop shows.
It's got like CSI.
Every movie has a cop. Every movie has a detective. You want to be that guy." I was "Oh, I'll shut up now."
Getting typecast isn't always a bad thing. If you're typecasting is something that they are going to call you for all the time.
And here I am, the idiot, not realizing I'm the best typecast person because they need them all the time.
Right? I would love for you to do an audition though to play like a hipster from Brooklyn. Can you but with your accent?
Oh, wow.
Can you say "I'm allergic to gluten"? And my fur baby is an actual baby.
My fur baby's an actual baby.
I have a friend, Derek Russo, he's like 6'3", 6'4", bodybuilder type guy. He's super, and he's very funny. He's been in a lot of stuff recently. I'm really proud of him. But when I first met him, he was just like, Yeah, it sucks because I always get typecast as like the bouncer, a drug dealer, a guard. He's like, I just want to be able to do like comedy, and I was like, Derek, you look at you. Like I get what you're saying, my guy, but like,
Yeah.
You definitely look like all of the things you just said. Also, you know, you do work out all the time. You're putting in the work, and so people are just like, hey, doing a good job. He's like, well, what if I'm a little silly guy? It's like. That's not it, but I will say I like casting in my personal project because then I'll be like, cool, you want to play this really dumb role that does not fit you at all? He's like, yes, I do, thank you.
It is, but you got to remember, a lot of these actors are very short people. So,
yeah.
I'm 6'2". I look like a giant on camera next to me.
You look like you're there to eat them.
Yes.
How tall is Kevin Hart?
Oh, he is short, dude.
He's tiny.
He's tiny.
Short, like
he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Oh, all the way to the blank. But standing with him on set, I was like, dang, you are short, bro.
Did you want to pick him up? Look at you.
I did. I was like, oh, I want to hold you.
I give him a hug. Put him in a baby Bjorn. Take him on the road with you.
But yeah, one of the ones I would look like a giant in was I did a Sweet Magnolia season 2, and I was just there to do stand-in work for one of the actors, which was great.
Okay, so what's a stand-in work?
Stand-in work is where you stand in for the actor while they're setting up the shot. They block you in, they set it in, set the camera, how they're going to do it. You're sitting there in the position, whatever the act. And sometimes you have to go through the motions of whatever, or say the line so they get the sound right, and then they pull you off and then bring them in and shoot the scene. So you get paid good money.
Is it good money?
And you're not going to get any camera time, but you're there to work in front of the camera while they're, because it could take them an hour or two to kind of get everything blocked in and set up. You're that guy while they sit in the trailer. Then they pull you out, but they take very good care
But you're casting a larger shadow than these actors if you're taller.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times it depends on what it is. They'll set it for some actors are fairly taller than you expect. Like when I stood next to Kelsey Grammer, I didn't realize how tall he was.
Oh,
well,
he's from the theater.
He's from the theater.
He went to Juilliard.
He was awesome.
Was
what does it mean for the theater to do with how tall he is?
Yeah, very nice guy. Very nice actor. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. He sat with me and the guy that played his assistant coach on the bench. He didn't go away. He sat next to us, talked to us. Okay, so like there's certain characters, certain actors you see on TV, like, oh, I bet they're great in person. And you hear the stories, they're not as nice.
Yeah.
He beyond nicer than what he is on TV.
I feel bad for actors who are introverts and then they have to go talk to a lot of people. They're not supposed to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Even they're not that person in real life, a lot of times.
Yeah. I see. Now I would be a great famous person because I am lonely and friendly all the time. Either that or I'm napping. Those are the two choices. I'm a toddler. So if anyone wants to make me famous, I will be nice the whole time.
There you go.
Also, being famous sucks, though.
I don't want to be famous.
I one year Elijah Wood went to a film festival my friend runs, and I help out with it. So I was like, that group's like, in town liaison, and be like, yeah, I'll show you around whatever you want to do. And he had a bunch of friends from a festival, Fantastic Fest. Everywhere we went, if we stayed somewhere longer than 20 minutes, people started showing up. And it was people, and then we'd be at a restaurant. They'd be like, "Oh, do you need a seat?" They're like, "No," and they're just staring at him. It's like because people literally be like,
"Right, yeah," and that is annoying for them. I mean, I live in Peachtree City, and I have a local bar, hole in the wall that I hang out at. And when Walking Dead was being filmed, basically in our backyard for all these years, a lot of the actors would come and hang out at our bar, and we had a rule. All the regulars was like, "Leave them alone. Don't ask for pictures. Just treat them like normal people." And they loved it. They kept coming out and would hang out. So you got to be friends with all these actors. And then you would have those people every now and then come over and take pictures. They were always nice, took one. But they said, you know what? Thank y'all for being cool to us. Like, look, we don't want you to run away. I don't know what it's like to be like that, but we're not going to do that to you here.
That's what happens to the president, too. Like Obama and his children were talking about you live in a bubble. You can't go for a walk. You can't go for a walk.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how it was for people during the pandemic when they were told they couldn't go do things and we all lost our minds?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's, it's like my wife's like, what do you want to do with this? Like, do you want to be famous? I go, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be working.
Sell tickets.
I want to sell tickets. I just want to make money and work. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to not be able to go anywhere. Not that I'm going to be there.
I like Kathleen Madigan's model. Like she can go places.
Yes.
Most people won't recognize her, but she can sell out theaters and be a touring comedian and be happy.
Correct.
Right.
That's the dream.
My lips to God's ears. Oh God. So this is so cool. So I love that you've been doing making money doing and meeting famous people.
Yeah, it's been cool.
TV stuff.
I've learned a lot. It's been really cool.
And then you also start, like, I don't know how long you've been doing the road, like, but you're hitting the road serious hard times.
Yes.
Hard.
This year's
Your posts give me jet lag. Just reading, like, all of these pictures of you at the airport, like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, my wife's like, I don't see how you do it. She's like you. She's like, I am exhausted watching this. What the heck? Yeah, this year was the year I decided I'm going to go after it and go for it. You know, hit the road. Because I've only been in comedy 5 years, technically 4, because we all lost 2020. So I say 4, but I've been in it for 5. Because the 5th one was TV and the movies. But last year I said, you know, if I'm really going to do this, I really got to start hitting the road, get out there and get out of Atlanta, get out of Georgia, get out of what I call the bubble, what you're used to, and try to expand and see if my stuff works everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I basically signed up, started sending stuff out, got connected with Bar Comedy USA. They gave me my first opportunity to start hitting the road in the Midwest, and I took it, and I just went after it. You know, they gave me 30 minutes. So now I'm doing more time than I ever had, and on the road. So it was a good test, and it's just been nonstop since. Because as soon as I did it, I've just been going and going and going.
The bar comedy ones, there were long drives in between them.
Yeah, a lot of them are long drives.
Like so like you do a show at a bar, eh?
Yeah, most of them are one night.
Do they
bars.
turn off the TV? Do they show you any respect, or do you just have to like?
I'm the matter of fact, the bar comedy likes me because I walk in and I go, hey, you know, we're turning off the TVs, right? And they go, what? So I help set the stone. I go, hey, we need to turn off TVs, shut down the pool table. You know, things like that. So yes, they do. We do have those conversations. It's not like we show up and they, you know, it's like I tell them, it's like, I'm not going to do the show unless you turn the TV off. And they're like, you're serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. Like I had them shut off at a bar, the Notre Dame Ohio State game a couple of weeks ago. I go, you booked this, I didn't. These TVs go off.
Ooh, see now if all 3 of me went into a place and said that, do you think they'd call me the big B word?
I'm nice about it.
I know, but as a dude, I feel like you're having a standard. And if I'm like, turn off the TVs.
No, they were super nice. They understood. They said, look, we understand. We booked it. We misbooked on the date. We get it. We understand. They go, we are going to leave a TV way over in the back corner, which was away from the show, so people could go over there and watch it. But people still sat through the show with their phones like this watching it. I'm like, I can see you watch the game, right? It's like 20 of us in here.
Oh my. Oh, did you have like material that does well in Georgia that did not necessarily hit as well when you were in different states? Because I've had jokes pop different depending on where I am in the country.
Yes, I did. And a matter of fact, I created a joke out in the middle of nowhere in Missouri, out of the blue, that I pulled out of my rear end to save myself from bombing. That has worked everywhere.
Nice.
In the Midwest. It works really well at bar shows. And it's actually this hat with this logo right here, Poop Puppet. This came out of the blue. I just started talking. It was some experiences I had years ago with being in Missouri and having to use the bathroom. And there was, for 100 miles, there was not a gas station. There was nothing. And Missouri, if you've never been, they clear cut the state. So there's no bushes or trees. So if you got to go on the side of the road, you're showing everybody everything.
Oh, wow.
So imagine pooping on the side of the road. And then you have no toilet paper, but you use your sock. And that's where the poop puppet is. So I'm over there behind my truck doing a puppet show for people driving by while I'm holding onto my quarter panel trying to get down the road. So yeah, it was one of those weird stories, and it became a bit and a joke, and people relate to it. But yeah, it works really well in the Midwest at bar shows, and then some places like clubs.
Everyone in the Midwest have had to take a duty on the side of the road and been all exposed.
Yep.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's like that person who was on the Delta flight from Atlanta to Barcelona and then crop dusted with diarrhea down the aisles.
I went off about it and I started writing a bit, and then I found out it was an elderly lady, and I abandoned the bit because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna poor thing.
Let's do a prayer protection for her and for us as we age.
My biggest fear is having to go to the bathroom on stage, and we talked about that last night.
Doesn't your body, but you're having all of the fight or flight, like doesn't your body kind of shut that down, or is it more?
No, sometimes it doesn't, because like for me, like
do you get the nervous duties?
No, I don't. It's just I get so wound up. It's like my body's like just gets wound up, so where it's just like, okay, we gotta pee. Like I gotta pee 100 times for I have to go up.
I'm
just like,
pee.
what? I'm like, my body is just in hyper like go mode internally.
Yes.
So it's like burning up things, processing things faster. And I'm like, so that's why I don't eat till, like, if I have a show at 7 or 8, I don't eat after 4 o'clock.
Okay.
just so I don't have to poop if I'm on stage.
See, now you'd make a great gay man because you know how to prep. You're ready for anything the
I'm
night
ready for
might
anything.
include.
I'm
It might
ready.
be telling jokes. It might be getting a nice.
Might be a bottom.
Pounding.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You're ready for Missouri.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
You got your sock. And you're ready. Okay, I actually haven't asked you what you're nerdy for yet. Would you like me?
Yeah, I'm a big nerd on a lot of things.
Andy, what are you nerdy for?
I'm nerdy for Star Wars for one. That's the top one.
That's pretty nerdy.
That's pretty nerdy. I'm not like deep hardener, but I know way too much. Way too much.
Is it a passive absorption or is it an active pursuit of knowledge?
Some of it's active pursuit of knowledge still, especially since Star Wars has really come back into being
They're
a big
making
thing.
so many things.
Oh,
Can you list all the new stuff they have? Like,
oh no, I've almost lost track. There's stuff coming out after the Clone Wars. Everything there's stuff's just been shooting out left and right.
and then it's like some of it's animated, some of it's live action.
Live
or
action,
it's-
animated. I'm not so much into. The live action, I'm more into. Like the Mandalorian. That's been very well done.
The Mandalorian, yeah.
That's been very well done. I'm an old school guy because again, I grew up with this because I was born in '75, so this was my childhood, you know. And so this is there. So then when it came out, it's like my inner kid's like, yeah, that's why it's done so well because most of us that grew up with this are in our 30s and 40s with money that we're just spending on this. Like, screw a new car, we're buying this.
I know, right? Just paraphernalia.
Yeah,
and
screw retirement.
Going to see it in a live theater and all like the surround sound and
Yep.
the boosters and the TIE fighters, all that stuff. We were driving in the car yesterday and there was a cloud and it looked like one of the Star Wars spaceships. My son was pointing it out. He's 16.
Nice.
He's never going to get a girlfriend. What's happening?
I turned my wife into kind of a Star Wars nerd a little bit. She never was until we went down to Walt Disney when they opened it.
Okay,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
there when they opened it and first did Rise of Resistance. I know she was like, "This is so well," and they did a very good
It's
job.
amazing.
Oh yeah, she was like watching.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're in it. It's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's you walk into another planet. You walk into another world.
Ooh, yeah. And so I did one of the first Star Wars rides they had at Disney World. It was, I think it was over at Animal Kingdom, one of the first ones. And it's like you're in a room and they're showing you a huge TV screen and it makes you feel like you're flying in space.
Oh, that's still that's over
That's
there.
an old one.
That's the with the Ewok experience. What's it called?
I forget. I don't remember.
know. It's still
But
there.
it made me car sick so bad.
It's
I
still
was
there.
like gonna throw up. We went out. We had to I got out. I'm like, I've got to get a beer right now.
Yes,
I
yes.
need to tell my inner ear to give up. It doesn't need to know what's up or down. It just needs to be
It's
drunk.
actually in the same park.
As the beer.
No, not the beer. The beer. Where did you get the beer at though?
No, because we were at one of the parks where you could get alcohol. It
You
wasn't.
get alcohol at all the parks now.
Now you can. Yes.
Oh,
it's
this was back when you couldn't.
This is back when you couldn't. Yeah, we were in one of the. It was that's why I think it was at Animal Kingdom, but it was so exciting. And then now they have all these really cool ones in the main one, and they have all these people dressed up in the white. What's the white costume where they're the bad guys but they're clones, and then sometimes they're the good guys, and they.
Talking about the stormtroopers.
So many stormtroopers dressed up, shiny.
Yes.
It's amazing.
They walk around, talk to you.
It's amazing.
They came up and scared the bejesus out of my wife. It was like 6 a.m, and we just because we got in there like 5 a.m. when they let the rope drop when they were doing the.
Oh, wow. You were in there.
Yeah, we were in there. Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dark in there at 6 a.m. Stormtrooper, she was looking at something. Stormtrooper came up behind her, and I wasn't paying attention. Just leans over and just starts talking. She jumped.
And it's like they
Yeah.
have the sound.
It was loud. It was, and I was like, "That's amazing."
What are you doing here?
I went down last October with my family, and then the Rise of Resistance one is fun because even the line waiting is interactive, where it's like, oh, you start out in here, oh, you've been captured by the Empire, now you're in there. And when you're in the Empire part, they're like, rude to you. And so there was this hot goth girl who was being mean to me. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I'll do whatever you want. And she was like, you're making this too easy. I was like,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll tell you every secret that I have for the rebels. And she was just cracking up. And my brother and sister-in-law were like, Joel. I was like, what do you want from me? If this was a real scenario, I'd be like, cool. So this is where the base is. This is where I'm turncoat here.
The secrets in my pants.
Touch my lightsaber, please.
Touch my lightsaber. There will be no resistance.
No resistance.
Oh my god, the rebels. The rebels are in my underpants. Underpants. I don't think a man can say underpants and still be sexy.
A man cannot say underpants and be sexy.
I left him in my underpants. No. So has your wife ever dressed up as Leia?
No. We haven't got off. No, she wouldn't do that. No. Yeah, we haven't got that nerdy that far.
No loose Danishes around the house being held up to ears.
No.
Bikinis.
No slave, no princess slave Leia.
All right. And then do you okay, I'm going back to all of your traveling and doing all these jokes and things like that. Do you try to put in a little something like, oh, I'm going to be in Florida, I'll pop over, see some Star Wars stuff, or do you just, when you're on the road, you're just working?
Well, I haven't been in Florida much this year, but when I'm on the road and work, sometimes I'll have a day, like tomorrow I'm leaving early to go to Indiana, so I'll have like a half a day, and if I find a place along the way, now I pretty much know my routes. I've been to so many places, and I go back regularly, like Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, and those places. I kind of know, and I'll go ahead and plan out, like, all right, I hit this national park. Check this out. Like, I checked out Abraham Lincoln's childhood home.
Was it a log cabin?
No, it was not a log cabin. It was a very nice home, almost like this house. Very
Abraham
nice.
Lincoln's peddling some lies then. I thought he was like the log cabin. No, he was like well off and he went to school.
It was a very well off, very nice house, even in today's standards.
Oh, damn.
But it was weird because I was there and I didn't realize I was there on the day he got shot by
John Wilkes Booth.
On the day 54 years ago, whatever it was. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, today's that. I'm like, this is weird.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's weird. Were you looking behind you the whole time?
Like, this is weird. This is weird. Can we get a ghost cam out here? But anyways, yeah, I'll do stuff like that.
Have you done a ghost tour?
What's that?
Have you ever done a ghost tour?
Oh yeah, I've done plenty. I've done a ton of them. I'm a big ghost nerd.
Are you?
Big paranormal nerd. Big ghost nerd on that side.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell me the story? Wait, hold me.
The first one? The first time? The first one?
Yeah.
The first one was when I was 13, 14 years old. It was 1989. Actually, 14 years old. It was 1989. I was spending a night at a buddy of mine's house. We had a kind of
1949?
89.
89.
Did I say 49? 89.
Sorry, I just passed out for a second. I had a little time travel.
Yeah, it was after the football season. A bunch of us that played football together, we kind of had a party in a buddy of mine's backyard, bonfire, whatever. And we all spent the night and hung out. His mom was big into, and he told us, she's big into the occult and things like that, which didn't really play into it, but she was kind of playing with us a little bit.
This really doesn't come up.
No.
You're not like, this is my
Well,
my
he
mom,
was saying that
my
my mom likes to do weird stuff to my friends.
Oh.
Like freak them out.
Oh, okay, so she's fun.
Yeah, she's fun, but he goes, she's in the occult stuff, so...
Was she like a Wiccan, or she was...
Yeah, kind of like, yeah.
And I would imagine in the South that has like higher stakes with everyone being like so religious.
It did, and he kind of didn't want to be kind of like out there, like everybody talking about it at school, so we were like, okay, cool, no problem. Well, anyways, so she was messing with us at night and just kind of, but never anything about ghosts. Never anything. So everybody's like, fell asleep, and I got asked to go to a college game, University of Georgia football game the next morning. So I had to get up really early before everybody. So I was up about 6 a.m. And there was a fog out over the backyard, and I'm standing in the kitchen. His mom's making me some pancakes. You had me
at fog in the backyard.
And I'm looking over the backyard, and I see this guy run across, and I'm looking. I'm like, all right, all my buddies are over here. The guys that were sleeping on the trampoline are in the house because it was cold that morning. It was like October, about this time of the year. And I'm looking, and I see this guy running, and I see a silhouette, but I see no legs. And I'm like, what is going on? And I see a gun. Now, it's hunting season, so I'm like, oh, there's somebody hunting on your power lines.
Yeah, and they would do that in the morning. That's when
like somebody's hunting down on your power lines, but they're running. This is not a hunter. And it's just like moving constantly. And I'm like watching it. And I go, and she goes, and she's behind me. She didn't even look up. She goes, oh, you saw our guy. And I go, what guy? She goes, in a hat. You could tell he had a hat, like a flat hat like this, long rifle, no legs. It was just a shadow of a man. She goes, that's our Civil War guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, we see him every now and then. And I went, get me out of here.
Whoa.
There was a chill up my spine.
I have the chills. I have goosebumps right now.
That was
it's
the
on my
first,
legs.
Yeah, and I saw it plain as day. It was right at the brisk of the morning, the sun was right, and it was as vivid as me to that wall.
So it looked like it wasn't like just shadow. It was an actual person.
It was. I could see every bit of the hat, a coat, a rifle. I just could not see feet or legs.
Now, do you feel like that is possibly that person's leftover energy in that moment is trapped there and not his whole soul? Like it's just that moment is getting repeated.
That's
and
a weird
part of his energy, not this whole like.
That's a weird but good question because everybody debates that all the time. Because I mean, I do believe in God. I do believe in the afterlife. I do believe in heaven and hell. But there's also this part of like, okay, what am I seeing here? And I also believe, in angels and demons and things like that. So when you believe in that kind of stuff, you kind of look at things like anything's possible. But what is this? Is it like a rewind of a glimpse of a fraction of time?
A powerful moment.
Yeah,
like that's his
it's like,
fear
what is that?
And bravery, like running into a battle or we don't know his story.
Right.
But that's like got to be the scariest thing you ever do in life.
Yes. 100%, 1,000%. So I don't know. And you just don't know, but it's like I seen it. And it wasn't the first time. There was another time I've seen other things, since then. So it's like I don't see it all the time, but
you have the ability to see.
I don't know that I would call it that so much as it's just happened. That's the way I kind of like try to think about it. Like, I'm not inviting it. Nope, I don't want to be invited or anything like that. So it's kind of weird. So but it is an interesting thing. It's like, what is this that person that's still here trapped? Have they not moved on, or are we seeing a glimpse in time? It's just we're able to see something that happened.
It happened there.
Yeah, that's
right.
So it's hard to explain.
Oh, it's so exciting. I think I like all of this so much because it's so hard to get an answer, so it's an infinite amount of possibilities.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is. It is. And there's times I've walked into a room or to a place and I'm like, I don't need to be in here. They're like, why? I'm like, I got to go.
You can feel energy.
I don't like to be in here. I don't want to be in here.
You can feel that too.
I gotta go.
Just from the living. like,
100%.
The couple that is having this dinner party fought before we came over because this room is fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah, like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I wondered too, like I went to college in Virginia on a plantation, and I was walking home from the library late at, it was like 1 a.m. because I'm a hard worker, and it was fall.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is like our Halloweeny episode.
Yeah, it is Halloweeny ghost.
Halloweenies. That's why witches don't get pregnant. So that's an old joke.
So
that's
dumb.
Stupid.
But it's funny.
I was walking. There was lots of leaves on the ground, and my feet were under the leaves, and then I felt and heard like a clanking of chains. And I was like, oh, I must be walking on a chain came off of the thing that kept the grass clean, or like a bike chain or something. I moved the leaves. There's nothing under there. And I was like, oh, slaves used to be here. I wonder if they had to wear chains at some point. And this is like an opportunity for me to remember that and, have some respect in my heart, you know what I mean? And gratitude. And then we also, so our school was founded because the family that donated their land and their money to start a school for women.
Yeah.
And because her daughter had died when she was 17 or when she was young, and it was of a genetic thing. And her husband also died from the same genetic problem. And so she donated all of her money to start a school. And that daughter haunts the school. And
really?
Yes. And there's loads of stories about, her name was Daisy.
Oh.
I have goosebumps just talking about it right now. Just like the elevator is never supposed to go to the 5th floor.
Right.
All of a sudden you'd be in the elevator and it's opening up on the 5th floor even though you didn't press the button, and you're not supposed to be able to go up there. And it's all like dusty and creepy. And It was.
Oh, now I gotta go
wild.
check that place out.
Yeah,
Now
I think
gotta
it's
go
been
check
in.
it out.
It's been some TV like haunting. I think it's been on episodes of some
Oh, I'm
television
sure it has.
programs
I'm sure.
and stuff like that. But I love.
Me and my wife are big consumers of that kind of stuff. We watch that stuff a lot.
I can't watch it at night because I'm a little girl, and then I start to have nightmares, and then I have night terrors.
She says that too. She goes, "You're really making me watch this." I was like, "What else are we going to watch?" I mean, there's nothing else we're watching.
I scream bloody murder, and I terrify my husband. That's why his hair fell out.
Have you watched The Nun or any of that?
I can't.
Other series?
It has to be like, I don't want to do evil. I want to do just like a friendly ghost that comes back and tells you where your grandma hid her jewelry before she passed away, and so now you can find it. Like that happened to me. We had a diamond and sapphire bracelet in the family that was a gift to my grandmother. She passed away. I wanted to wear it to my wedding. We couldn't find it. My mother was worried. She had like hidden it in the freezer, and then when my grandma died, like I just throw out all the stuff in the freezer. You know what I mean? And she came to me in a dream, and she said, "Look in this chest of drawers," and like basically where to look. Next time I went back home, I went through all of it, and I found it in the dresser where she told me to look for it. Ooh. And then my mom's kind of voodoo. She, I was on a flight, and it got we were in the sky, and then we had to turn around and go back to our original airport because someone was having a medical emergency. And I texted my mom, like, I'm going to be late. There's a medical emergency. And she's like, yeah, I dreamt about that last night. I should have told you. Like, yeah, if you're like tuning in to some other information.
Yeah, it's weird. I've had those dreams where I'm like, I've been in an experience or at a place or whatever, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, it could be 6 months, 3 months, a year, and all of a sudden I'm like, I've been here. I had this dream, and it's like it's like deja vu, but it's like more than once. It's like not every now and then I'm like, okay, this is what I did. I think in there, I'm gonna do the opposite.
Right? Do you feel like you have like spirit guides? Do you feel like you have spirit guides? You
I don't know.
Tap into?
I don't try to say that. I don't know. I just know what I experienced, and I try to explain this to my wife. She's like, "You're so weird." I'm like, "I'm just telling you," and then it's like. And she's been with me a couple of times where I'm like, I feel this. I think of it. She's like, what do you mean? I go, we gotta go. We gotta move. We gotta walk away from here. Like, she's like, what? I go, I saw something. I gotta walk away.
Wow. I've been in a place where I felt constriction in my chest, and I couldn't breathe. And it turned out the people who lived there died there from cancer of the lungs.
And that's so weird.
And I'm like,
that
that must have been
so weird.
That energy. And then, so like, do you feel like, you probably, because I'm more woo-woo than you are, but like, sometimes you go places and you're like, okay, I bet I gotta like close up shop so I don't feel all this energy. And do you ever have to put up your blinders?
I do. My wife even says in my sleep, like, I will say the Lord's Prayer and cast demons out. Like, she's like, you will go like full on into these things. Like, it's very vocal, and I'm like,
oh my God.
What? I'm like,
okay,
yeah.
now that's worse than what I do to my husband.
Like, I go into like casting out demons and saying the Lord's Prayer and stuff into all these like exorcism rites and things. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I've got to record you. She's like, she goes, she goes, it's not mumble. It is exact.
You're speaking clearly, and you're casting out, and you know, so you know the Lord's Prayer.
I have no idea.
And do you know is there a specific language around casting demons out?
Yes, there is. I studied to be a minister, a youth minister. I was studying to be a youth minister when I was growing up.
Well, teenagers are the demons that you have to cast out.
Yeah, what I'm talking about was 16 to about 21, 28. I was actually going to go, and I studied a lot of religions, not just a Baptist, but a Catholic and everything else. And I got really deep into theology and stuff. So I studied a lot, and I saw a lot of things and through a lot of ministers and a lot of different people, including talking and working with some priests who actually done exorcism. So
yeah, what did they say?
Kind of learned
That's
a lot.
That's like the horse right from the horse's mouth. What did they say?
Well, they don't tell you a whole lot because it's still kind of a closely guarded thing.
Does it summon things to talk about it? I wonder if
it does. And you know, I learned very early. I was like, don't contribute to it. Don't invite it energy. In. Don't let it in. Don't, whatever it is. If it feels like it's bad, it's probably bad. And you don't go messing around with stuff like Ouija boards and things like, because all you're doing is opening the doorway. Yeah. And it's like you don't mess with that stuff. And I've seen some things, and I'm like,
what have you seen?
Just things that make your hair stand up on your arm and you feel things like electricity run through your body.
Amy's
like,
not going to go to sleep tonight now.
things are about to happen that shouldn't be happening, and things are elevating right now. Like energy is elevating in the room. Like something's about to really go down bad. It's like, no, don't mess with this.
Are you in these experiences? Are you like in a dive bar? Are you in the basement of a theater? Theaters are haunted terribly. Maybe that's why the ghost light. Have you ever heard of a ghost light?
Yes,
you
I've
have
heard
to
of the
have
ghost light,
a
yes.
light on the stage, or else ghosts go crazy because they want to. I guess they're performing. They're having an open mic.
Yes.
And they need to have a light.
Yep, I've heard that. I've not experienced anything in a theater or anything. It's just weird things at weird times and places. It could be an older house. It could be a warehouse. It could be It could be just random places, anything like that.
Like,
and then places that I know that are
like the temperature drops.
Yes, I have been in situations where the temperature went down to where I could see my breath. I've been in those situations a couple of times.
I think you attract it.
And I'm like, this is not good. Like, and then you walk out and you walk away like 4 or 5 feet, and it's like, it's 80 degrees over here. It's like, I'm going to keep moving.
Oh my god.
I'm not even going to play around with this.
Do you do a little prayer in your head then? So I have a prayer that I do. I let me see if I can remember. It's been a minute. I only invite the white light of God into my space, and that's my protection. What do you do?
Either the Lord's Prayer or a little.
Isn't the
right.
Lord's Prayer like, now I lay me down to sleep?
No.
I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
That's
if I die,
that's getting your kids to go to sleep.
Okay, I don't have a lot of religious training. But I know all the names of the crystals. Does that count?
Sometimes it's just simply saying, I cast you away in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and things like that, or simple things like that. It's like, God is, Jesus Christ is my protector. Just things like that, certain things, whatever is that moment, I'm like, okay, this is what and just say it out loud and just walk away and just keep moving.
Right. I wonder if
don't look back.
One time I have this memory of being a child and going out into the woods behind a friend's house, and I came upon, and it looked like Puritans, like people. They didn't see me. I could see them. I was like far away. They were all like wearing like the black and the white, and they were just kind of like milling around. And then I went back. I was like, I got nervous, and I went back to my friend's house. Now, I don't know if that actually happened, if that was a dream, but it's something I think about, like with like a little pocket of time, like your runner guy.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Right. Don't know. That's something you got to figure out.
I know, right? My mom was in a terrible car accident, and her car flipped upside down and hit a telephone pole, and she wasn't wearing a seatbelt because she was cool.
No. Oh no!
And she woke up in the back of the car's upside down. She woke up in the back seat, upside down on the roof of the car, and she said she felt her father, who had passed, presence keeping her safe.
Oh wow! You hear that a lot in those situations, in those traumatic or dangerous situations, things like that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Ooh. Have you been to a medium, or do you feel like that would be?
I don't play with that.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Don't play with that. That's
Is there any story, though, you could tell from a priest? Because I'm curious about this. Because, it's not just the priests that try to make clear energy and help people move on. There's TV shows where they have, like, these two old British ladies who are, like, they're spiritual mediums. And they have to take a break for tea a lot. But they go and they find, like, a haunted place, and they talk to the person who's passed and has not gone to heaven or whatever. Because sometimes they're worried that they weren't a good enough person, and so they don't want to cross over. They're worried what's going to happen to them in the judgment area.
Right.
But so sometimes they have like loved ones on the other side, like come, no, it's going to be okay. Like you can come over and stop walking around.
Probably
the kitchen of some house.
Probably the craziest ones. Actually, Bishop James Long. He actually came on my podcast a couple of times, and he actually has a TikTok thing now, and he does his own. Bishop James Long. He was actually on Ghost Adventures. He actually did a rite of exorcism on there a couple of times, and then he came on my podcast during 2020, and we talked about a lot of things. And he came on again right before he started his own podcast, and he was telling us all stories about his experience. And he's had the worst one is at Hell Cemetery cemetery where he actually encountered a flying demon and like all this stuff, and it was like absolutely and he said he's never been more scared. He talks about a lot of this stuff.
What's a flying demon?
He said he saw it. He said it looked like it had wings, and it had. He goes, I actually saw. He said I've been doing this for many, many years, exorcising, demons and doing the rites for the church and exorcisms. And he said, this is. He said, you do. And I know what he was saying. You don't play with stuff. You don't push stuff. Well, he actually kind of pushed the envelope and went to the cemetery to check it out to see if it was real or not, or what was going on there. And he said, yeah, he says, I saw things that, he said, it terrified me. He says, I turned white and ran away. And he's like, and normally I'm the one who has to stand and deal with those things. And he said, I couldn't deal with it.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was a crazy, and my wife.
So God gave him more than he could handle.
But was
it because he was stirring the turd?
Well, he's always under attack because he's out there, exercising demons all the time. So he's like, I constantly get migraines all the time and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's crazy. But this is how my wife got it. My wife's like, I don't really believe in the paranormal so much. I mean, she believed in God and things like that. And she actually had an experience, and I put it on my podcast, that at her office, which one of her offices in Ohio, they had built it on, and didn't know this until after, on an Indian burial site or near or next to one. And she got camera footage.
Your wife did?
Yes, this was like 3 years ago. During 2020, they sent the camera footage. They go, you won't believe what the camera caught. And I have it, and I can send it to you. I'll send it to you. God. And it's at night. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. You see a chair turn, like someone's in it, turns.
Oh, my gosh.
The chair goes to the side, and then there's this cloud of mist that comes in, stops, goes across the office, comes back, goes back, and moves. And my wife's like, and I'm getting chills right now.
I have chill bumps, yeah.
And she goes, not only does everybody in the office know what's going on, she goes, I am now a believer, like all this stuff you've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I showed it to James Bishop Long on the podcast, and he goes, that's real. And I was like, I know it is.
Does he have names for all of those different kinds of expressions?
I think he does. He didn't really say whether he goes, but he didn't say it's like a full body entity. He said, what did he say it was? He said it was
a poltergeist?
No, that wasn't a poltergeist. Poltergeist typically is when you've got mass things going on all at once, where you've got different things, more interactual, more physical, where you get more physical stuff. Where, like,
I hear they sometimes sound like children.
Could be,
laughter.
And it's a multitude of different things. It's a high energy, it could be physical, where there's like, they say there's stuff on wet things on the wall, or things that happen and things like that. And it's more than just a single occurrence, like seeing something. It's an actual physical experience where, like, people come in and all the cabinets and the doors are open, or things like that. They're just constant.
Yeah.
That's kind of gets more into poltergeist, but there's very different classifications, because I started learning all about this stuff. Like,
don't you feel like are you stirring the turd then if you put all the information in your head?
No, it's not. It's learning about it to know. I think it's for me. It's learning about it to recognize what it is and to know what it is, and to figure out really what it is for me, and what's going on and what's happening. Not that I'm going out and hunting these things, because I don't want to go poking the bear, so to speak. Because you poke the bear pokes back. If you F around, you're going to find out, kind of deal. That's the way I live. I'm not going, but I'm going to also know enough to protect myself and know what's there.
Gosh.
Because I believe there is evil in the world, and I believe there is good in the world. So it's like, I want to know. You
want to track the good.
Yeah, you want to know
you want to
know
good.
good, and you want to know what the bad is, and so you can recognize it when it's there.
I think you just feel it. You feel it. I mean,
I do at times, yes.
And then you can turn
that's
around.
Weird to say, but yes. And I try to explain when she does. I don't understand this. I'm like, I'm just telling you.
Has that guy ever gotten to a place he couldn't clear the energy?
Yes, he's talked about it. And yes, he talked about it several times. Like, there's places where you can't. It's it's hard, or they've had to go back. But yes, he said. I think actually the one on Ghost Adventures he did, that he had to go back twice. It was the well-known bar Gillies. It was at Gillies, and it's still.
Is it New York City or Chicago?
No. Gillies is out in Kansas City.
Oh,
out in Kansas, Oklahoma or Kansas City, yeah. And it's still a very high poltergeist, very demonic, very haunted place. And he actually did, I think, 2 rites of exorcism out there. And it's still like he's like, it's a portal. He classified it as a portal.
Yeah.
He classified it.
He said, this is a portal to hell. There's
to hell.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I wish. Okay.
This is getting way off the. We're nowhere near comedy.
Well, yeah, you're nerdy for ghost
Dude,
stuff.
we're nerding out.
I
We're
know.
nerding out. We
Yeah.
walked down. You walked into my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I want the world to just only be the good energy, and it can win over the bad. But I have a feeling it's gonna be like there's always gonna be a certain amount of good and evil because it can't go anywhere, right? Because you can't. It's like
Right.
you can't get rid of it. It's not like right.
It's like yin and yang. There's always a balance. There's got to be a balance. There's a balance.
I know. We got to channel the good.
Yes. And there's a lot of bad in the world today. So yeah.
I don't think it's always bad.
Bad stuff happens. What?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
what?
All right. So we got to ask you questions to find out how nerdy you are.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Sure. It's just like Jeopardy.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Wait, that's one of the questions.
Miserably.
Do you like Jeopardy? Do you watch
I
reruns
do.
of Jeopardy?
I do. I'm not, since Alex Trebek has left us, rest in peace. I have not watched it.
Okay. Do you get excited about school supplies?
Yes, Trapper Keepers are my all-time favorite thing. They've come back.
And they've come
I have
back.
4 of
Yeah.
them. I have 4 of
You
them.
have 4 of them.
That's
Are you
4 of
writing?
them.
Are you doing one's a ghost journal?
Yeah, no.
One's a joke writing
I'm
journal.
just recollecting them and
One's
putting 80
one's
stickers
like
on
Dear
them.
Diary.
Just write your wife's name over and over again.
Yes.
Oh, and and are you changing your last name to hers?
Yes. I'm like,
What's your wife's name?
Liz.
Oh, I would love to meet her sometime.
Yeah. Y'all get along.
Do you have kids?
I do. I had 3 kids with my first wife. They're all grown in their 20s, and I have a stepdaughter that's 16.
Nice. I didn't have any daughters. No fun for me. Okay. Do you ever go to Comic-Con?
No.
Or any cons?
No, I haven't been to any cons. I've wanted to, but no, I just haven't gone.
Okay. Have you ever ridden a unicycle?
Yes, I have. I have ridden a unicycle.
Oh God, you're the first person.
Yeah, I was just
Yes.
Oh,
trying to think if anyone else has read one.
this is very exciting. You've answered yes to all the questions so far. We've had a string of cool people come through the podcast. We might have trapped one.
Yeah.
We finally got one. I feel
Got
like the
a
lady in
nerd.
Ghostbusters. We got one. What's her name? Annie Potts. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Annie Potts, yep.
Yeah. Do you play an instrument?
I did. I don't currently. I played trumpet in the past.
Trumpet.
A little bit of guitar, but I don't play anything currently.
Have you ever
or
had a clip-on tie?
Yes.
Okay. This is good.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever done the Death Star Lego?
No, but I just looked at the new AT-AT one this morning. My wife told me this. I think I might spend the money to get that one.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
like you said, you got disposable income now. That's,
Yeah. Well, I lived through my nephew. He gets all the Lego ones, so I kind of lived through him a little bit.
Yeah.
So he gets them, and I'm like, yeah, or I get them. Yeah.
This is fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, I do that with my niece. Where I'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I want to play with this, but I'm gonna buy it for her."
Right.
And then,
Right.
Quote unquote.
well, we get to
Right.
build it together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you have a soldering iron? Do you know how to solder?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to go. I'm just gonna start checking it off here because I think we're gonna get.
I know how to craft.
Have you ever held a ferret?
Yes, I actually had 2 ferrets in
You
college.
owned-
My
you owned-
roommate did.
Okay. This
We
is the
we had
second person we've had on here who had the roommate have the
Yes,
ferrets.
it's always a roommate. It's always a
It's
roommate.
like, is it always the roommate, or some people like? Actually, there's no one who's ever owned a ferret. It's everyone's blaming the roommate.
But I loved it because I actually would what was the movie that the Beastmaster? I used to redo the Beastmaster scenes
yeah.
with him. I was like, go, you know. You ever see the Beastmaster
Yes.
movie? Totally. I was like, yeah, I would like get the ferrets like replayed scenes with them.
Do you have a Harry Potter wand?
My bonus daughter does. We went to
Oh.
do the Harry Potter experience. I think I had as much fun as she did, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
But yes, she does. I don't wanted one. My mom always like, you don't need a wand. I go, yes, I do. She was like, no, you don't. She goes, I'll get you a lightsaber. I go, better.
You're like, all right, compromise.
So that's a great question. I think we should add, do you have a lightsaber to the list of questions
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after a wand? So you have a lightsaber?
Yeah, I did the lightsaber build. I just didn't get one. I did the build.
So it's custom for you. Yes. Oh my goodness. This is very exciting. You're making my week that you're this nerdy and we're just starting off the questions right now. All right. Do you have a coin collection?
I used to. I did. I've still got some a little bit. I don't have an extensive one, but I had some my grandfather gave me, and I kind of kept some Centennial ones, some things like that. Yeah.
Ooh, just as like loop back to the energy thing. Have you ever held an object and been like, oh, this got some energy in it?
No, can't say that. I do believe in that. It's like when me and my wife go to New Orleans. It's one of our favorite places to go to, and there's all those voodoo shops, and she's like, I want to walk through and go. Do not, and I tell her, do not touch anything before we walk in here. If you see something, don't touch it, don't grab it, don't pick it up. You can look, don't touch.
Yeah.
And my stepdaughter, when we took her there, she's like, what? I go, we're going to walk through. I said, I'm going to do a little prayer real quick, but we look, we don't touch. But I've looked at things in those shops, and I'm like, I don't like the way that looks.
My mother-in-law gave me a silver mirror, like a handheld mirror from the 1800s. And it was hot, like every time you touched it. And I thought maybe I was crazy, but then my friend Jose, out of the blue, was holding it. And he was like, oh, that has energy in it. Ooh, it's a little scary because it's a mirror and you don't know what you're going to see when you look at the mirror.
I'm like, you don't want to touch that. Like, I don't want to touch that. Like, don't touch that. Like,
yeah.
But I've never touched.
Well, it was a gift.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying.
Ooh, okay. I have a thing too, like sometimes if I go into antique stores, I have to go lay in the sun afterwards and just clear off all that heaviness. There's heaviness. I feel the heaviness in the antique stores. Do you ever feel that?
Sometimes, yeah. But I also feel like it's a part of something that we're never going to see again, and I kind of have reverence for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then I do anything. It's like, because it's, or like I can go to something like a hutch or something like, it's like this was special to somebody. This was something to somebody. This was somebody something, that kind of stuff.
Yes. Okay. Have you ever held a sword?
Yes.
Do you have a sword? You're kind of Southern.
No, I don't have a sword. You've been here for a long
time.
No, I don't have a sword.
You don't have like Papa's sword?
No, I have a bunch of knives though. Tons of knives, hatchets, machetes.
Like old ones from the 1800s?
I've got a World War II bayonet, and I have an old Chinese AK that was used.
What's an AK?
It's basically a gun, a rifle.
Like an AK-47? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Have you ever had an aquarium?
No, I've not had an aquarium.
How about a terrarium, which is just an aquarium after you
No, we
take care
one.
of
We
it?
do have one now that my stepdaughter has for. I got it for her, and that we keep the hermit crabs. We have a whole hermit crab terrarium.
Okay.
We have hermit, and they've lived. And we only had
16?
one. Yeah, and we have this whole thing. And I nerded out and got this whole set with all this stuff. And then she loves it. And she we built all this stuff.
Okay, I'm going to check terrarium.
So yeah, you can check it off.
Is she a nerdy girl? She sounds fun.
She's very smart. She's fun, but she's very smart. Yes, she's like me. She's fun, but nerdy. And
she's into stuff. It's really cool. All right. Do you know ham radio or Morse code?
Yes, I do know Morse code.
You do Morse code?
I used to do it. I used to know it really well. I used to be able to do it good, but I have lost it. It's like one of those things. It's like you got to do it to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But I can do certain things. I could probably get out a good sentence.
That's my husband is doing it now. He did it when he was a kid, and he's gotten back into it. He just got all the equipment reinstalled, and he went and took his ham radio testing and to get his number, his
ID
signal,
number or signal number, signal number, yep.
But there's a cool story. There was one of my husband's dad's doctor friends was walking through the hospital, and he heard Morse code, and he knew Morse code, and he went into the room. It was a man who had a stroke, and he couldn't speak, but he could still do Morse code to communicate.
Oh wow!
And no one knew what was happening except for the guy who knew Morse code. Like that's what the guy was trying to do.
And he was like, "Finally,
yes,
finally somebody!"
Right? So we all need to learn Morse code. So when we have our strokes, we can still communicate. Like, I need more vodka.
Right.
Change the channel. Right. I don't want to watch Fox News.
Now I kind of want to get back to doing it because I thought about that the other day. Anyways,
I'll show you my husband's antenna after this.
Oh, that'd be
It's
cool.
a big one.
It's
the one that he got installed.
It goes all the way to the trees in the backyard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever been to camp, like a Bible camp, riding camp, space camp?
I've been all the camps. I've been Bible camp. I went to Camp Windshape the first year was open.
What's Windshape? Is it a Bible camp?
It's actually Chick-fil-A's camp.
Chick-fil-A has a camp?
Mm-hmm. They started Truett. Kathy started
Shut the front door.
Years ago. I was actually.
Is it closed on Sundays? What do they do with the children?
No, we go to church and stuff. But it's Camp Winship up in Berry College. That's where it was. Yeah.
Did you go to Berry College?
No, I did not go to Berry College.
Space camp?
Yes.
You went to space camp?
He's rivaling AJ.
Yeah, this is a very exciting episode. Yeah. Have you been to math camp?
No, have not been to math camp.
Science camp?
No, I consider space camp was science camp.
Band camp?
No, did not go to band camp.
Have you ever framed a puzzle?
I have. What's that? Where you glue it or spray the stuff? Decoupage.
You decoupaged a puzzle?
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing.
Is
This
that
is amazing.
considered
That's the
framing
exact
too?
same thing.
Okay.
I'm checking this off. Okay. Oh, this is amazing. Did you get married in Disney?
No, did not get married in Disney.
That's good because now I have more respect for Liz.
Yeah, we did it on the beach. We got married on the beach where we both wanted to.
Did you have you ever said the word huzzah?
Yes.
Okay, at the Ren Fair or just in real life? You said
I've
huzzah?
said it numerous times just to see people knew what I was.
Have you been to the Ren Fair?
Yes, it's by my house. It's
by your house?
I live in Peachtree City. It's in Fairburn. It's right by my house.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Have you ever worn a costume more than one day in a row? Like
yeah.
Like to be a goth kid or something. What was your costume that you wore?
What did I wear? Oh, Braveheart. A Braveheart.
Where'd you wear it? Just to school?
Just everywhere. Bars and around
How old
town.
were you?
30 something.
Oh, Andy, you're a weirdo. I love you even more now. Look at this big weirdo we got. This is fantastic. Okay.
I wear, like, when I go to Disney, like, I got a Mr. Incredible shirt, I match, and I'm like, let's go.
Yes, you're into a theme.
Yep. It's like live it or don't do it.
Right. Yeah. Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Go Braveheart or go home.
Yep.
Have you ever written fan fiction?
Have I written fan fiction? Like, describe fan fiction realistically. Let's be honest.
Have you ever written down like an alternative ending to something because you couldn't handle the way some like?
Oh, definitely. I've written like this should have went
keep
four
being like,
different ways.
Never mind. I've done exactly that.
This
Who doesn't?
I'm like,
It flows out of you.
kidding me?
You can't stop it.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my god. Have you ever said this is not canon about something Star Wars
Or anything.
or anything?
Kind of, yes.
Oh my god. Okay. Have you ever had a birthday party for a pet?
Yeah.
Have you ever handmade a costume for that pet? For a pet?
Kind of, yeah.
What'd you do?
What was it? There were several of them.
Okay.
Well, the ferrets were for one.
You dressed up your ferrets?
Well, it wasn't mine. It was my roommate's ferrets.
Oh, yeah,
but
your
you're doing the
roommate's ferrets.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, we were doing the Beastmaster. They had to have little leather pouches and things.
I think this is like, you're going to be awesome. You're going to be like the biggest redneck nerd, right? Is this what's happening? Have you been to a Rush concert?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's on a different
I was about to
page.
say, that's like one of the first people who've been to a Rush concert, too.
Yes.
Rush, Toto, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rush. I don't know where that page is. Okay, Rush. Do you have a tattoo?
No, I do not. I have scars, but no tattoos.
Have you ever brewed your own mead?
Actually, I tried it and I failed. I want to go back and do it. I want to do it.
Oh my gosh, this is so
Because
good.
I pulled up a recipe on it the other day that they were like, simple meat. I got to do this.
Do you have a pair of binoculars anywhere around your house because
Of
you want to look at
course.
the birds
Of
all the
course.
time?
I got binoculars for all kinds
It's
of
just
stuff.
to see all the ghosts running
I got
around the
scopes.
backyard.
I got scopes. I've got sights. I've got actual binoculars. I got what do you want to do? Are we killing somebody or are we looking at birds? What are we doing?
Can't we do both?
Yeah. That's what they're for.
Tell the bird to swoop down, take out the deer. Have you ever LARPed or cosplayed? Well, it sounds like when you were wearing,
Yeah.
you
I
did
mean,
wear your kilt to the bar, were you coming in with a Scottish accent?
Oh, yeah. I had the blue paint and everything. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Can you do a Scottish accent right now?
No, I cannot do a Scottish accent right now.
Okay. I know it's hard to be put on the spot. You can't take all freedom. I know that part, right?
My favorite character in that movie is the Irish. It's like, the crazy guy. He's like,
Yeah.
It's like, it's my island. Your island. Yes, it's my island.
Irish people are crazy.
And I am Irish, so.
Yeah. So did you go, because to be authenticos, when you're wearing the kilt, you are not supposed to wear underpants. Did you free ball?
Yes. And then I got uncomfortable and I put underwear on. Because people were drinking and I'm like.
Right.
No. And I'm like, women were getting handsy. I'm like, stop. Okay, no. No means no.
No means no. You have a little chastity belt on. What's the longest time you've ever done playing a video game or a board game? Longest sitting?
I can't sit that long. Probably 2 hours.
Okay.
I can't go nuts. I lose attention, even if it's into it, like either Call of Duty or things like that. Once I hit about a 2 hour mark, I'm like, this is too much. I've got to walk away. Plus my ADD kicks in. I'm like, I got to go do something else.
I was about to say, yeah, you sound ADD as hell.
Yeah. So I got to go get. Well, they said I was ADD back when I was like third grade, which was before they started medicating
before
people.
they even knew
so
what
you
it
just had to
was.
learn how to figure things
Yeah, they're
out.
like, yeah, you're just a little weirdo. Anyways, go on about your day.
Yeah, have fun. It's like, oh, you know, it's like, you understand if a pencil drops across the room, it's going to take his attention away, you know. But meanwhile, in my head, I'm going, I'm over here and I'm over here.
Yeah. Try to learn.
Yep.
Squirrel. Yeah. Do you have you ever played like Settlers of Catan or Magic the Gathering?
No, but I have not played it, but I did read all the rules and know a lot of the characters, but I've not played it.
Okay.
That might be even nerdier.
This is what's weird. Okay, I like that kind of stuff, and I'm like, this is really cool. I can see myself getting consumed with it. I can see myself going down a path getting obsessed with it. Because if I decide I'm going to do something, and that's what I tried to explain to my wife the other day when we were talking about me doing comedy. It's like, once I fixate on something, it's there. And I focus my energy on it, focus my thoughts on it. Because I know I can get distracted easy. I know I can get distracted and then lose sight. So once I focus on that, I'm there. And if like those kind of things, I know that if I go down that path, I'm going to get distracted and I'm going to get consumed and focused on it. It's going to be my everything.
What part of your life did you finally cross over to? Is this a learned behavior that you now know yourself well enough? You know, don't even scratch that itch because you know, like you gotta want to stay focused on this thing that you've committed yourself to. And then when you were a child or younger, was it harder? Like everything seemed to have the equal amount of importance.
I was like a little bit here, a little bit there. That's why I was like, I wanted to learn Morse code. I learned a little bit of okay. Well, I want to start learning this, and I'm over here with this. I was into a little bit of everything, but I never. Then
I can see that, yeah.
But then I was like, what's going on here? It's like, I got to really focus. So I started focusing on business and selling and things like that. So I realized if I don't stay focused, if I take my eyes off the ball and go over here, I'll just go do and leave this over here. I'm like, oh shoot, we got to turn back and go over here. And it's like,
I think going do is the best way to describe having a manic episode.
and literally, now that I'm doing comedy, that's what I had to do. I was doing a podcast. I was doing a radio show. I was doing a little bit of I was like, and I would go, oh my gosh, I've started this thing way too much. I've started way too much. I got way too many moving parts. I've got to focus on one thing because I have the TV and movie, the radio show, and the podcast, and then I'm doing comedy. I'm like, I gotta figure out what I can be really good at and focus on that.
Right.
And so
and that's executive functioning. That's a muscle that you probably had to learn how to use. Right? Wee. Okay. Yes, you. Oh.
See, we even went down a different
Do you have a
path.
card collection? Baseball, Pokemon.
I ran a baseball card store when I was 15.
You ran a baseball.
Cards when I was 15.
Okay.
I collected so much and knew so much about baseball cards. We used to play poker with baseball cards with my buddies in 1988, 89, and like we would bet Bo Jackson's, Michael Jordan cards, all that stuff. And I knew so much of the stats of the cards and all the Beckett prices so much that a guy that had a baseball card store next to my mom's balloon decorating store hired me to run it for him on the weekends.
Oh my gosh.
Like I was allowed to trade on his behalf, sell everything. I could trade on my own stuff.
because you went down that, and you went down the cards, and then you knew all the cards.
And it made money. Anything that makes money, I am all in. If I know it can make money, I am on it.
That must be nice. That must be so nice. I'm the opposite. If it costs a lot of money, I am all in. I am invested 100% in spending all of my money,
right?
And making sure that none of it actually makes a profit.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Ayo. Luckily, my husband has deep pockets. It must be nice to be able to make money. All right. Have you ever held a tropical bird?
Oh, yeah. Parrots. I got a picture like,
do you have a cape?
define cape.
Well,
You're just gonna say yes to this. every other question, you're like, well, give me.
Yeah,
Like,
I've had capes.
yeah.
And yes, I've had capes.
Like part of a costume. Have you ever dressed up as like a Dracula guy?
Mostly Superman,
I feel
superhero.
like you were trying to be a man of religion. That's 90% capes, right? This is all
Well,
about
it's not Catholic, it's Baptist. It's different.
I've seen some Baptist men wearing capes.
I
The purple. Do you have a pair of fairy wings?
Do I have fairy wings?
Yeah.
Not personally, no, but we have some at the house.
So in a pinch, you're ready. Okay.
I can pull some out in a heartbeat or make some.
Yeah. Do you focus at all on AI? Are you worried about it? Do you have conversations?
Again, that's one of those things I have not touched. I want to kind of stay away from it. I've got thoughts and feelings on it. I don't want to kind of go down that rabbit hole yet.
Because you'll go do.
Yeah, I'll go too far down it. But I see where it's coming. I see what's happening with it, and it's a slippery slope. Matter of fact, I was listening to a podcast about it on the way over because the guy that actually is behind it, I was listening to him talk about it because I'm very interested. I like to keep my finger on things and know when it's time for me to jump in.
Okay.
And it's like know enough while it's going on.
Okay. That's the same question twice. Do you know all the words to a musical?
I know not all the words, but I know a lot.
To which one?
Several.
Which can you name any
Just
of them?
depends. I mean,
Are you a Grease guy?
of course, everybody. I mean, in our generation growing up, every house you went to had Grease playing. I swear to God, it was like it's burned.
What
It's
about
burned into you.
The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I know several songs. If you start singing it, I will chime right in.
I am 16,
yes.
going on 17.
Yes.
Someone come pluck this rose. That's such a naughty song. When you listen to the lyrics, it gets dirty. Okay.
Yes.
Did you read Ready Player One?
I watched the movie. I did not read it all. That's the thing about me and books. I can start reading a book and then I put it down and I don't go back. And then I'm like, ooh, distracted. And I'm like, oh, I should circle back to that.
Yeah. Do you listen to books on an Audible?
I have.
Especially when you're driving.
I'm trying to get back to listening to more books than podcasts now on the road. And that's my goal in the next couple of weeks when I get back on the road. Listen to a book or two versus consuming all these podcast stuff.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you do scuba diving? Have you done that?
My wife does. I have, but I'm not certified. But I've done the scuba, shuba, booba, the
Patty.
whatever.
Okay.
You don't have to have certification for them. But my wife is, and my stepdaughter is. As a matter of fact, we just planned a trip for them to go scuba diving.
That sounds fun. Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten a perfect attendance award?
No.
No, not ADD boy. No. Like, wait, I was supposed to be at school today? I was researching
I'll find
AI
ways,
all day.
I'll find ways to work around the system.
I had a friend miss a week of school because she was doing her horoscope down to like the hour of her birth, and it was this huge chart, and she missed a week of school to do it, and then at the end of it she found out she did it for like the wrong time, and so it was just a waste of missing school.
I have my friend that I graduated high school with. He had perfect attendance from kindergarten till we graduated. Like he would go to school sick as a dog, throwing up, fever, whatever, till he could legally check out 10:30, 11, whatever that time was, our entire life to get this award at graduation that he had perfect attendance from kindergarten to high school. And I was like, and what does that get us in life?
Right.
That's just my thing. I was like, did that make us money? Yeah,
right?
I'm like, kudos to him. But that's the only person I've ever known to do that.
That's a lot of perfection, like striving for perfection.
Yes.
Is he okay now, or is he crushed under his own pressure?
I don't know if he uses it on his resume or not, but he has that award.
It's like
it
just means you have the strongest immune system because you're not sick all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever been shoved in a locker?
No, I'm too big to be shoved in the locker.
That's what Mookie G said too. He's like, I've been this size since third grade.
Yeah, right.
Not gonna fit in a locker. All right, who is your celebrity crush?
Who you said was? Is there a time limit?
Whatever just pops in your head. That kind of.
Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith. Oh yeah. Okay.
probably was the last one I had, and before that, you know.
Do you remember the reality show she had where she was like on drugs and that guy was just taking advantage of her? And
I got in trouble for taking her Playboy to school in art class and painting a watercolor of her.
Oh.
And actually convinced and actually talked the principal, my art teacher, into letting me bring it into class to use because, one, it was art. In art class, we were allowed to pick anything we wanted, a picture, and 3, there was no rules.
Yeah.
And I said and so the principals came down, we all had a talk. I go, it's sitting right here. I'm doing the cover. I don't have it opened up with boobs and pusses out and all that stuff. I'm redoing the cover of it. And they said, can you cut it off? Can you cut the thing off and just bring that in? I said, no, it's going to be a collector's item one day. It was
yes,
the one
and you're already doing the math on how to make money on it because your brain knows how to make money.
And my Beckett's are making money sitting there stored up. So this is going to go with my Beckett collection.
Yeah. It's just going to be guys.
By the way, that Playboy issue is worth money. But anyways, back to my story. So I convinced them to let me stay. And they go, all right, it stays in your backpack, stays in your locker, doesn't come out. If we hear it's out and you're showing people stuff, that's it. You're getting kicked out of school. So fine.
Yeah. And did you watercolor it?
Oh, yeah. And every day I came in with that Playboy and set it right there.
Yeah. Do you still have the watercoloring?
I think my mom does somewhere.
Is it in her spank bank?
Yeah, no. It was just like, of course, she was clothed because she had that. I was using her face, and I was doing an Andy Warhol different color thing, like the reds, the greens, the yellows, and
You had me at Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
You are a nerd, my friend. I did not. This is such a curveball for me. I did not see that coming because you have like cool guy energy. You're very good and easy to talk to. You like have a wonderful Southern accent. I did not see you coming in, guns blaring, 1,000% on the nerd scale.
You're like, this is going to be a difficult podcast.
I think you're a redneck nerd, and this is a new creature.
I'm a redneck nerd.
This is the first time where I'm labeling this in
I've
the
met
bio.
so many redneck nerds.
Yeah,
I've met so many.
But I think this is our first that we've interviewed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I grew up in like a small rural town in the South. Like I have so many nerdy friends. They're like, yeah, man, I'll play some D&D. I'll be a barbarian. That'd be crazy.
Let's roll them dice.
Yeah.
I want to come over and watch some Star Wars. Can I bring my possum with me? She's gotten real friendly, and I've been trying to feed her for a month now. Yeah. Hey, Chevy, take me to see the stars. I got my telescope in the back, and I want to see a Dromedon tonight.
Oh, I just went to a dark park.
Did you go to a dark park?
Yeah, the other day. Yeah, last week.
Do you have? I'll show you my family's telescope after this.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you got a baller one.
We got a big telescope. Not to brag. It's not the size of the telescope. It is the size of the telescope, actually.
It is the size of the telescope.
Oh, my gosh. Well, actually, that's been an hour and 10 seconds or 10 minutes. I am so proud of you, and I'm very proud to be your friend. Tell everybody where they can find you.
AndyGunnin.com. That's Gunnin. Type in Andy Gunnin on all platforms. It comes up, including Grindr. I'm kidding, not Grindr, but everything from Threads, Twitter, Facebook. Just go to Facebook, Instagram. Please go to Instagram. I need to get my Instagram up. Other than that, it's AndyGunnin.com.
And then where's you said you're going out on tour again? What states are you going to be in?
I'm going to Indiana this week, and then I come back. I do a show. I'm headlining a show in Peachtree City Friday night, and then I've got a bunch of dates across the board between now and the end of the year, all over from Indiana, Wisconsin, Ohio. They're just scattered everywhere.
That sounds amazing. Cool. Well, thank you for being on our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Now there's music playing. Beep-a-doo.